Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Nice to have you here. Thank you to Robin of Toadstool Tarot and Ben from Beneficial Tarot for agreeing to do an everyday witch deck casual. So, woohoo!
Yay.
So, and so, let me take a breath. It's like, woo! And I'm still waiting for the notice to pop for me.
Are you the ice or the cream, Gerald?
Am I what?
The ice or the cream?
Depends upon what you're asking.
Because we're being called Ben and Jerry in the chat.
Oh, are we? Oh, that's nice.
Just wondered which one you wear, that's all.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, speaking of chat, let's say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
And I am seeing that the notice popped. So Viviani is here. Hi. And she said hi to each of us.
Hi, Via.
Tony is here. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Ben and Jerry. That's fun. And Chris from Elemental Cartomancy is here. Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, who was Jerry? And see, what's funny is that's not exactly how I spell Jerry. So, I love it autocorrect. But and Zane is here. Tarot Token Witchery. Hello. Kim Moon Whisper. Hello. And speaking of Zane,
Hey, Zane.
Zane is with me tomorrow, and Chris Yao of Barely Balanced Tarot for Magic Tool Talk. We are talking about sigils.
Oh, nice.
So that should be a rather enjoyable one. No, I do not, Mr. Elemental Cartomancy. I do not. I do not. How do I really feel? I feel strongly about this. Can you tell? So I feel really strongly about that. Patsy T, Intuitive, is here. Hello. Glad to have you here.
Hi, Patsy.
Deb H is here. Purple Elephant Deb H. Yeah, with a different spelling. Yes, it was. Yeah, Gerald with a G, Jerry with a J. So, and so how are my two guests today?
Very well, thank you. How are you, both of you?
I'm doing
It's Mother's
fine,
Day over in your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Robin, how you?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. All right. We've got people who are here. Thank you. We love that. I'm going to take a sip and then we'll talk about exactly how this is going to go. Yeah. Tara Living with Manasa is here. Hello. Good to see you. Robin Toadstool Tarot has asked, does anyone remember Jerry and the Pacemakers? I do not.
I think it was a British group from the 60s.
Mm.
Yeah, they did a song called Ferry Across the Mersey. So that had to be the UK, right? I don't even know where the Mersey is. I think it's over there.
I don't know either. So Mark Astro Tarot is here. Hey, Gerald, Ben, and Robin. I have a chance to purchase the Everyday Witch secondhand, so I'm interested to hear what your takes on the deck. Thank you, Chris. Jeffrey bought that for me, and I absolutely adore it. Pamela is here. Hello, Pamela.
Hi, Pam.
Robin, does your mic go any louder?
Oh, I think it's all the way up.
I think she's joking because I think it's because you typed something in, Robin. I'm guessing.
Huh?
I'm not sure.
Are people really having trouble hearing me?
I don't think so.
I hear you fine, Robin.
Oh.
We'll just blame Tony to tell her to calm down a little bit and turn her speakers up.
Recently did a couple videos that for some reason came out really quiet, and I don't know what happened, but I went into my settings and I boosted the mic input up all the way, so I don't know.
Okay.
No.
All right, just catching up, and I see lots of people. Lisa Stevens is here, and Mersey, I think, is a river in North England. So there you go. But okay, so for those of you who have not been through a deck casual before, what we do is the three of us have the same deck or a version of it, and we talk about which version, we talk about the physical layout of the cards and the box and the book, etc. And then we also we talk about our favorite cards, or the cards that we like the most, and then some cards that we have questions about. And also, how do you use the deck? So, and Patricia is here. Hello. Good to see you. Is this deck of prints, whenever I find it, I only find the Oracle? I do not believe so. I put links below, and it's from Llewellyn, right? It's a Llewellyn, and I saw it on Llewellyn's website.
I think as well, Chris, you can get it from the Book Depository or Blackwell's in the UK.
Okay.
So try that.
Chris, if you can't find it, well, if you can find it, stick that in the link in the chat, because everybody, please know your limits and purchase responsibly. So there you go. Patsy T Intuitive loves this deck, and Chris said thanks, Ben.
I'll send you a link if you like, Chris.
So this book, I'm going to put us like this for a sec. This book comes here. I'm going to do that. This book comes, or this deck comes in a magnetic box. It has that gross thing with it has that gross thing, but it has a ribbon. It has a rather nice guidebook. I think this guidebook is quite nice. It is a glossy paper, full color, and each card has a full color picture, and then a page of information, and then it actually has a place for notes, which I do appreciate. It's well written. It includes some spreads, and I was also looking at this and finding out how the book came to be. And it's by Deborah Blake, and Deborah Blake, and the artist is Elisabeth Alba. So, but no to responsibility. I got to catch them all. Wait, I just found it on Amazon. Don't mind me. I'm just having a moment. That's okay. So, welcome, Chris. Welcome to the show. So, do you have it? Do either of you have thoughts about the cardstock? Because they are a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Here are the backs.
Yes, I do with Llewellyn. I've always I feel bad saying this, but I do struggle with Llewellyn's cardstock slightly, because I find it a little bit on the thinner side. But saying that, I haven't had a look at this deck for a while, and it doesn't feel too bad. It feels quite, I don't know, it feels okay, actually.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it's a little bit thinner, but I'm not sure. But I don't mind that. I complain more when the cards are too thick or too stiff, so I don't have a problem with these.
And just to be clear, it is slightly smaller height-wise.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
I wanted to say something about the box and the book, unless you want me to wait.
Please do. That. No, please do. Hi, Ronnie.
I love magnetic boxes. I don't like the inside of this box. Like Gerald said, it's got a kind of a poorly designed cardboard holder inside where the cards just kind of flop about, and so
Yes.
I'm going to be setting Ben off with everything I say intentionally. It's okay. Go ahead and laugh at me. So I actually got rid of my box early on because it didn't keep the cards well. So I got a tin to put them in. And also, I love those Llewellyn boxes, but they take up so much real estate on your shelves. And
They do. Yes.
So I got rid of it. Now,
Okay.
as they are nice boxes, but it's just the insert's not good. The outside part of the box is good. Guess you could put your cards in a bag and then throw them in the box and then throw the inside insert away. But the book, I think, is really good. And if you, Gerald, open to any card page, the thing I like about it is there's an in-depth interpretation, but for every card, if you're really in a hurry, there's a little one-liner right underneath the card name. And it's usually some little quote or something that you could practically just read the deck with that one little quote. Like, can you read the quote on that world card? What does it say?
The world is your oyster, unless you don't like oysters, in which case it is your hot fudge sundae.
So there you go. I mean, for as little or as much as you needed to know about a card, it kind of says it right there. So if you don't want to read any further, I went through this morning the whole book, all 8 cards, just reading the one-liners because I just wanted to see would they do if I was really in a rush to read with this deck. 2 more things and then I'll shut up.
Okay.
I think that this deck is really good for beginners. It's like if you want to read the RWS and you're not even quite sure about some of the cards in the RWS, I found that this helped me understand the cards better.
Oh, that's good.
Going cold into the RWS. However, for somebody who's like very knowledgeable and well-read over a wide array of tarot decks, they might find it maybe too simple, or they know it all already or something. I don't know. But the last thing I'm going to say is if you're a cat fan, there's a cat on every card, and you can almost read a layer of readings just by the behavior of the cats in all the cards.
Yes.
So if you're a cat lover, this could be a deck for you.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Ben, could you read Tony's comment, please?
No one likes a floppy deck.
There you go.
True. It's true.
Yes.
People like good stock.
Yes. What are your thoughts on the physical makeup of the deck, Ben?
Well, yeah, I just think it's a little bit thin.
Okay.
The cardstock, because
I like them on the thinner side.
What? Oh my goodness. Okay, so in other words, hello Heather, Indigo Chrysalis Tarot. Tarot Living with Manasa is laughing, and Chris has said, congratulations on your new granddaughter, Naomi. Congratulations.
Oh Naomi doesn't look old enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And Naomi said, yes, it is very thin.
Okay. Well, no, it's just, yeah.
Hi, Ron. Glad to have you here. And I am glad that you stopped by. Make sure you click the like button.
I had that.
So,
I'll say one other thing, that I used to really love this deck. I find I almost never use it anymore.
oh, okay.
And taste change as we grow when we get more familiar with new things that come along. But I'm not really that fond of this deck anymore. I was originally, and for a number of years, and I probably won't get rid of it because there are a few cards that I think are amazing to learn on. But I was looking at it again today and realizing there's not much in this deck for me anymore.
Okay.
Also, there's two divergencies in this deck, and maybe I'm jumping ahead, but it's called the Everyday Witch. And the thing I liked about it was this sort of fairy tale world, of witches.
Mm-hmm.
But part of the deck is that, and part of the deck is contemporary witches. And it's all
Sure.
kind of mishmashed together, and I don't know why. And the cards I don't like the most are the contemporary.
I see. So so this deck, I'm looking at the guidebook, and it came out. You have to realize this was the guide was published in 2017, and I have the first edition of this book in the 6th printing, so it is extremely popular. And like Robin said, the guidebook I find is very helpful. So
I like, Gerald, as well, that it depicts male witches as well as female witches. It's not just all female. There's actually male witches in here, which I think is pretty cool.
Yes.
And I love that about this deck.
And I know a lot of people that don't like this don't like it because of the pointy hats on the witches, but I like that style.
Me too.
Okay.
I think they like to have that stereotype thing about pointy hat witches with striped leggings, and I don't have an issue with that.
Well, I like, something.
Go ahead, Ben.
No, I'm just saying that I'm same as Robin. I like, the hats.
I'm glad you both do, because that was a little over the top for me, and it all of the cats were a little over the top. It's very stereotypical, but it's I can see beyond that. So Dippity Doo said, I recently bought this deck and I'm about to return it. I love the pictures, but out of 78 cards, many with numerous people, not a single character other than skinny, beautiful white people. You are correct. This is not a deck with much diversity in body type. Everyone is beige. So it is definitely a world situated like that, and perhaps it's from when the deck was created in 2017. However, that is something that people need to be aware of. Purchase responsibly, know your limits, and look for some flip throughs. And so let's talk about some of the cards that we really like. So I'm going to start with you, Ben. Could you pick a card that you would like to share with us? And I will also try to hold it up so it's easy to read.
Yes.
Easy to see.
So I really liked this one, which was the Lovers card, and the reason I liked it because it's very odd of it. You see, it's got this little. I love the fact that it's got the figures here and the cats at the bottom there with the little heart for the tail. And like in the original Rider-Waite tarot deck, that you normally have the angel looking over them. Well, there's like a kind of figure here that's looking over them there, and I just thought it was a really cool depiction of it. And I just really liked that.
Ben, you did a flip through of this, and for some reason I don't believe I linked it, so I will have to do that. So
I'm not sure I have done a flip through of this one.
Well, if Heather said you did, then you had to.
I did. I must have done. It must have been a long time ago, but yes. I just think it's really nice. It's really pretty.
Yes.
And like, again, I like the male and female aspect there. You've got depicting both genders. I love the fact that they included animals, and the smoky figure, very witch-like. And also, sorry, I know we're talking about the cards here, but I have to say they are one of my favourite backs. These cards are. I know some people don't like the fact that they're not reversible, but I actually really love the image on the back, and I think it's one of the reasons that really sold me as well. So I just
Okay.
thought they were lovely.
Candy Soul and Soil is here. Hello,
Hey,
Candy.
Candy.
Well, and Chris has asked, is this the deck that has the Tower You Love, Robin? Or am I thinking of something different?
That's the one, and I'll get to it at some point in my turn.
Okay. And Naomi said that this tower is my favorite card. I think one of the nice things that I appreciate about this is when you look at this, honestly, you can't necessarily tell the gender of both people.
No, that's true. That's true.
And I think the artwork is quite nice. And in reading in the description or in the book, they talk about why they picked this particular artist to do it. And I think the artist has done a very nice job of capturing things that go along. So yes. So I think it's, and what's it's a very private moment between the couple and the elements. So I appreciate that.
And again, if you don't, if you're a cat person, you don't need the rest of the card even to interpret this. You just see the heart there with those cats.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yep. You got it. Robin, do you have a card that you'd like to share with us?
Yes. Well, maybe I should, since Chris brought it up, maybe I should do that one first. The Tower card. When I was learning, there were a few cards that I had trouble with understanding, and one of them was the Tower card, because I always felt victimized by most depictions of the Tower where people are thrown from the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And this helped me redefine the way I look at the Tower, because in this one, she is, she's got her wand. It's all sparked up there.
Yes.
She really has. She's been the one to take the power and take down the tower. So she is not a victim. So that had me rethink the Tower card, that it's not necessarily about being victimized, but it's about shaking things up. And so if you're ever in a situation, I mean, there are situations that can be shaken up by external forces, but also you can be the one to shake things up when they're too stagnant or a change is needed. And I really got that from looking at this version of the card.
Yes. This is in my favorites as well. And because sometimes the destruction... Did I freeze? Everybody, are you there?
I think Robin's froze.
I'm back. Okay. So
I'm back.
One of the things that I like about this is sometimes the Tower is something of our own making, and we may not realize it. But as Robin said, this person, the wand is sparking. So, okay, we have a couple of questions, and just going back, Lisa Stevens. Okay, I captured that. Deb H says, so the main complaint so far is that there's no diversity in the characters. Yes. And Chris asked, am I right in thinking pointed hats come from an actual thing, directs energy or something?
I think you might be thinking of something else, Chris.
I believe that there is a part of that which is accurate, Robin. I mean, Chris, yes.
I think it's conical energy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like so above?
A twister has so much energy in it, and it's shaped that way upside down.
Yes. And you can be lightning or the Tower. Yes, you can. And that's one thing that I believe my experience with this deck does. It forces you to sort of tilt your head a little bit when you're considering some of the images. It's like, I hadn't really thought about that, but yes, I can see it. So, yes, the tower is the shape of the conical hat. You got it. Tower being taken down by the elements. Yes. So, and pyramids. Yes.
You're right about the diversity, although there is a little bit of age diversity in the deck.
There is. So,
You know, some of the hats are bent though, aren't they? So that not all of them are like standing up straight, are they?
say that again.
Some of the hats are bent.
Yes. Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
I think,
Where?
never mind.
So Dippity Doo, hello and welcome. Off topic. Gerald and Ben, I recently came across your quartz chat, the pages one, and almost died laughing. Highly recommended those videos to everyone. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yes, it was very funny.
It's a medical disorder, Ben. I'll text.
All right, moving on before we completely go, go crazy. One of the cards that I appreciate is the Magician. And what I appreciate about the Magician is, and again, this is where the artist Alba does such a nice job. We get a complete image, and it's a slightly different perspective. And I like how when you look at the Magician's hand, I'm going to say she it has power in both hands, and it's rotating. I find that really quite nice. And perhaps this person is a little older. And I appreciate that. I also like how the black cat, which is oftentimes considered a witch's familiar, is there also, I believe, inputting energy as well. So
I didn't notice until now how the posture of the cat. I mean, look at the power in the posture. Like that cat is in control. You know, the cat
very regal.
Hold a wand, it would. You know.
Yeah, it's very upstanding, that cat.
Yes. And by the way, Ben, Chris has answered your question.
Because they get a bit floppy. Right. Oh, okay.
The hats.
Yeah. Of course.
So,
Gerald's on his best behavior today, and we're trying to drag him into the
I'm trying to, I'm trying to be.
You're not going to play in the guts today?
Well, here, let me put it this way. This came about last Sunday because the two of you did a live, and you were talking about how much you love the Everyday Witch. I actually do not like this deck that much. So I am the odd person out, and I get that, and I know people who this is all of their things, and I appreciate that. And so I've learned to appreciate it.
It's Mother's Day today, and Mother's not having it. It's the perfect hostess.
Mama ain't playing no fool. So, my gosh. So, Ben, do you have another card that you would like to share?
I do. Yes, so I do like this one, and I think you might have mentioned this actually, Robin, last time when we talked about it. And it's this one, the moon. So I love the fact that he's looking down into the water here, and there's like this big panther thing looking back. So it's like maybe that's how he sees himself or herself. And there, I love that you've got this witch flying a broom across the moon night sky. I just think it's a really nice card. I love that card because it really does depict the moon.
Isn't it amazing the color difference between the three of us? Sorry.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, mine's very
well, and
I don't know actually.
Mine's purple, yours is blue, and yours is dark. Sorry, I'm having trouble. I better put my foot in my mouth.
Here, Robin, do you need to put your foot in your mouth?
I was wondering when you'd get some of those.
But okay, so
So
that
yours
being
is
said,
purple. Is yours purple, Gerald?
well, mine's closer to actually what it looks like. So, but I think one of the nice things about this card that I appreciate is how in the reflection we have the panther.
Yeah.
And then we have the witch in the sky, in the moon, and I think that's extremely powerful image. So
I wanted to say that the moon is another card that I had trouble with, and
mhm,
this deck helped reaffirm my notion about the moon. For me, when I look at the moon, it's all about in the regular decks, it's about the pathway, and on either side of the pathway, you have a domesticated animal and a wild animal. Now here we
oh,
have the same thing, but it's not either side of the path. It's in the reflection. So you've got a domesticated cat and a panther, and I like that juxtaposition, because for me, the moon is about our natures and our our sense of reason versus our
mhm,
wild intellect.
yes,
So, I mean, not wild intellect, wild, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuition.
mhm,
Intuition? I'm not even sure that's the right word, but you know what I mean? The difference between training, domesticity, and just going with your
instinct.
instinct. That's the I word I'm looking for.
And I think one of the things that I keep in mind when I read the moon card is that things look different by the light of the moon than they do by the light of the sun. And so they can do it. I think it's the way the camera's picking up the cards.
Yeah.
Mark Astroterra said, "I like that the cats so far act like cats and haven't been anthropomorphized doing human things. They are cats and they are doing feline things. So throughout the whole deck, I don't think I saw one. I don't recall seeing one. So they have not done that. That's not the
No.
type of deck. So um I will take some more coffee as well, please. So and the moon card is so
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
bye Viviani. Kristen
Hi,
Louise is here. Hello.
Hi, Kristen.
And Deb H said, self-talk is everything. We may look like a domestic cat, but inside we are a wild cat. So yeah. Very nice. Okay. So that was yours, Ben, right?
Yeah.
Correct? All right.
Yeah.
Robin, what do you got?
Okay, this is another one I learned from, the Chariot. When I first saw the Chariot in the RWS, I didn't quite know what to make of it.
Mm-hmm.
And after seeing this, I interpret it as direction. You're moving forward, but you've got options which way to go. And if you can't control which way to go, there's the dilemma. And when I was creating my own deck, this was an influence on me. And here you can see I kind of stole their idea a little bit of the this way, that way arrows and put them on my card, which is
very nice.
a fork divided into two directions and being at odds with your mode of vehicle, and in terms of trying to get somewhere with it and trying to choose the right direction. So this was a big influence on my deck creation.
Wow, very nice. And by the way, the artwork of this was selected to resemble antique postcards with pictures of witches, and it does have it's not a comic book style per se, but it is certainly a consistent style. And so there's that. All right, one of the cards that I have is I have strength, and I have picked strength for a very specific reason. And that reason is there is a communion between the human and the animal, and they are appreciating each other. In many of the strength cards, it is about domineering the animal, and I'm not a particular fan about that. I think there's a missed opportunity with that. But here we have both of them having power. And when you look behind, here is a twister, a tornado, a funnel cloud, and she is creating it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I love that the cat is in the side. Yeah, in the sidecar. Yeah.
I love the fact that she is gentle with the lion as he is with her.
Mhm.
But then the
Yes.
other
Yeah.
side of that is power. So it's kind of like strength, sort of like pushing strength out with your energy and like holding it in with your sympathy or empathy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the power coming off that wand too. I think it's a lot of fun. So, Ben.
Right. So the next one, I really liked this one, which is the Emperor card, because I love the fact that there's a dog in it, and it kind of represents man's best friend, which I thought was cool, and I just really like that picture. But the fact that the dog's there, not a cat, and I think it's the first time, I think it's the only picture actually that you see a dog in.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was interesting because they do say that dog's man's best friend, and I like, are these like, I don't know what these are, but they look like rune.
I believe they're astrological
Oh, are they?
symbols. I think they're the what do you call them? The signs.
And you see there's still a cat in the picture as well, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Which is yeah.
There are a couple other cat ones. I mean dog ones. I found one with another dog in it, but yeah, sorry.
Oh, thanks, Robin. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether there was.
Mark Astro Tarot wrote Emperor equals Alpha Dog, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
One thing I was
Tony said, I like how he's plotting and aligning energies of the stars.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed when I looked through the book this morning is, as in-depth as they are with explanations, they don't touch on the antlers that this king or emperor is wearing. And I'm always curious about the meaning behind antlers being worn. And I very rarely get any explanation in books, guidebooks. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, I'd be curious to know. Because I have a number of decks with antlered royalty.
My card's very blue, isn't it, compared to yours?
It is. It is. Jamie is here, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path.
Hi, Jamie.
And yeah, and Robin had mentioned there's also a cat on his lap, or that was Ben. And what's interesting about that is they're both relaxing.
Yeah.
So yes, and the dog does look like a German Shepherd, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, all right, Robin, what card would you like to share next?
Is it my turn already?
It is.
Well, this was the most important card, I think, for me in the deck.
Oh.
This is the Death card. And this was another one that helped teach me what death means. Because you have in the background 2 doors. It's like, it even says the key line of the description in the guidebook: when one door closes, another door opens, which you've got there in the background. And then also, I don't know if you can see, but this rope separating the past from the future, if death is moving forward, has a little frayed area in it. And he's got the blade. So in order to affect change, you have to sever what keeps you from moving ahead. And the Death card is all about transformation and moving forward and making changes. So
Yes.
I
Love
like
that, Robin. Yeah.
you also have, I wondered about the cat on the floor. He's got a hold of the tail of something that's just off the edge of the card. So for me, that's kind of this aspect in this murky smoke here of what death is all about or where it is, about holding on to something and not wanting to let it go. So as people often do with change, they don't want to make changes, but you have to if you're going to move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Heather asked, does anyone own the Heaven and Earth Tarot deck? I do.
No, but it's a nice looking deck, that is.
I own it. Listen to me. I own it. Of course I own it. So, I am quickly looking at my... Okay, I'm going to talk about the Sun card. One of the things that I appreciate about this Sun card is there is no the disturbing naked baby on a horse. However, there are 3 figures, and one of them happens to be with child. So there's that idea of this rebirth. I really appreciate all of the joy we see in that card, and surrounded by those sunflowers, and then you have the cat down here.
Yeah.
And it just is, it's very, very joyful. It's very Letha, it's very summer solstice.
I actually
So,
thought that was the 3 of Cups, Gerald, when you first pulled that up.
well, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is something that it can be a little confusing. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's the 3 of Cups. And it is not the 3 of Cups, because this is the 3 of Cups. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if these 3 figures were the same figures in the Sun?
I think
Yeah.
they might.
They
I-
could
in-
be.
They could be.
In the Sun, it's definitely Mother Maiden Crone, because the one of the 3 has white or grayish hair, and then there's a more youthful hair, and then sort of
Yes.
middle-aged hair.
Well, and Tony said that there's also triple goddess aspects to that. So, yes, I agree. And Jamie is saying, right, Gerald, because we had talked about that, because I was sharing, it looks a lot like. So, and Mark Astro Tarot said, I just think of it as higher octave of 3 of Cups. Yes, and that's exactly what I was doing. And so I think that's delightful. Be in touch with me, Heather. We can do that. And Patricia said, Robin, I was told that wearing antlers signifies strength of mind.
Okay.
So, but okay. And all right, so I had that. Ben, are you ready to share another one?
Yes.
And I like how we're trying to move through these so people can see a lot of cards.
Yeah. So my next one was the Star. I thought this was a really interesting interpretation because it really reminded me of the Magician. So like that energy is so above, as above, so below. But it's almost like the energy is coming up from the ground and going upwards this time. But I thought what else was interesting is that you've got this cat here looking at this dead fish in the pond, and I thought that was interesting. I wouldn't typically associate that with a Star card. I don't know whether anybody has any insight on that.
Is the fish dead?
I think so. It looks like it to me.
I don't think so,
I
because
don't think so either.
it looks like his head is slightly out of water and the rest is below water. So I don't think they died.
I thought it looked like it was on its back.
Well,
And
maybe.
Tony is off to get her deck, and Heather said, not fond of naked children in tarot, oracle, etc. And Sonique Tarot is here. Hello. I am glad you did not miss much. So, yeah, I don't think the fish is dead.
Yeah, no, I to me it looks like it's on its back, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
Well, now we're going to prove a point, Ben.
Hang on.
Well,
there you go.
I get a very magician vibe from this as above, so below, which I don't usually get in the star.
No, I thought that, Robin. It's normally she's got the jugs of water, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Jugs?
So,
Yeah.
but on this one, it is very much the magician stance, isn't it? I thought.
Yes.
Then the fish
I
can be
understand.
anything you want it to be. That's true, Tony.
But you notice in this one also the brightness of the stars. I didn't notice that before either. They're very prominent, how they kind of jump out at you. And
They
I
really
always
are.
look
Yeah.
at the star card. I don't know why. I always reduce cards to keywords. And for
Yeah.
me, to help me, the keyword in star is guidance. Like, ancient sailors used to find their way across the sea by looking to guide to the stars for guidance. And so in the same way that these constellations up here they may be guiding her, or she's drawing guidance from them to bring that energy down to the earth. And
Yeah.
maybe vice
Yes.
versa.
I
Mark
think you're right
shared.
as well. I've looked at the fish, and I think it is not on its back, is it?
I think it's a koi, one of the koi. So they come up and they get above water
Yeah.
and they
'Cause it
do this.
spins.
It's
Yeah.
just a fish acting coy with that little cat.
Oh, wow. Mark said the star is my pay it forward card, which the energy flow as depicted in the card seems to suggest.
Yes.
Definitely that as above, so below. And so
Yeah, I love that.
that's
Mark.
a nice
so
one.
true.
Deb says to Ben, it's doing the backstroke.
I love that.
Yes, I like that too. But Robin, what about you? What's your next card?
Again.
I know.
I know it. The next one for me is the devil. And I think it's funny how most of the cards we pulled already are major arcana cards. But anyway, the devil for me, this is another one. This one defines for me the devil. And my keyword for the devil is always temptation. And you don't see that more than in this card. He's tempting these kids or these young people with a variety of things. And even the cats seem to be desirous of whatever is being offered. So yeah, that defines him for me.
And Kristen Louise said, I like that, Robin. I will keep that in mind when reading the star card because I've struggled with it. And Tony said the star is one of those rare cards that has no negative interpretations from the book. So fishy is alive.
Yes, thanks, Tony, for clearing that up.
And so Kim Moon Whisper said, don't like the devil card in this, somehow triggering. Then we won't put it up anymore. He's like the child catcher. Yeah. Yep. So it is a little creepy. So in many instances. So
let me ask you what you make of the volcano erupting in the background in the distance, because that definitely seems purposeful to the card. And what would you think about that in terms of a devil card?
I think blowing up smoke so that the truth is hidden. So is what I think. So I'm going to move into some of the minor arcana. And I actually, one of the cards that I have pulled out is the Ace of Wands. And oh, sheesh. Look at the devil's mustache. Oh, crap. Yeah, all right. I'll give you that. Yeah, eruption, illusion. So what people are saying about the volcano. So the Ace of Wands, and the reason that I appreciate this is we have the wand, which is in the forefront. But also We have books, we have a map, we have music, we have a paintbrush, we have a pen and a book, and we have so this is actually giving us an idea of where some of this creativity could flow.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And Mark said volcano smoking equal trouble brewing, maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi,
I like
Tracy.
that.
So that's why I like that, because again, from an artistic perspective, we have that view slightly from above looking down, and the smoke is giving us different forms. And the figure has a look of wonder. It's hers for the taking. Yes, Deb H, that's quite nice. So there you go. Ben.
So I didn't really have many left, guys, but I did like this card, and it's the Six of Swords. I just liked it because it feels like she's taking off and she's got a couple of friends with her, and it's like one of those broomsticks that's really long so you can fit 3 people on. I actually don't think the broom is that long. I think they must have broom. I don't know, actually. It looks like they're all on the same broom.
It does.
Doesn't it? But I just really liked that card. I just thought it was like, you know, they're moving on. They're not staying there. I just felt it really depicted the Six of Swords.
Yes.
She's about to take off and leave something behind there, you know, and with the bags packed as well. I just thought it was really.
And there definitely is this sense of movement, because we have the idea of the wind blowing and the leaves. So.
And
Bye, Heather.
I also think times the Six of Swords is about what baggage you're taking with you and what you're leaving behind. And in this one, the character and the cat are looking behind, and they're on either side of this bag full of swords.
Yeah.
So there is this notion that they're not just making their way away from their past. There's some remnants of whatever they left behind. They seem to be still thinking about.
And I think that's depicted in the cloaked figures as well. You know, they're perhaps hiding part of their feelings. I don't know.
I agree with you. And Sonique Tarot said movement and support from others. I appreciate that. I like that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Robin,
it's almost the opposite of what we usually get, because usually in the boat, you have the figures in front, heads down, covered, looking ahead. And here, it's like, and the guy standing in the boat is like pushing the boat forward, leading them away. Here, it's like the figures in front seem to be leading away the guy in the back, who may have some doubts about where they're going or what they've left behind, what's been overcome. Sorry.
Sure. Robin, do you have another card that you would like to chat about?
Yes. The Four of Pentacles. And, you know, usually this is like sort of the miser card. And it's, you know, not too different here, but I like what's interesting here is about how the insecurity in this card. I mean, this guy has got all his valuables in the trunk. He's sitting on the trunk, so nobody's going to get at that stuff. And he's got the door barred and padlocked, but he's got the window wide open. And the cat seems to be pointing out, hey, you know, you can sit on the trunk all you want, but if a band of thieves comes in the window, you're going to be overpowered and they're going to take your treasure. So maybe you should shut and lock that window too.
True. Yeah. And I also like in this is, you know, the door is padlocked. It's keeping people out, but it's also keeping this person from leaving. Yes. And it's like, it's all mine, all mine. You can't have it. Exactly. A prisoner of his own making.
If you cling too closely to things, then you're entrapped by that.
Exactly. exactly. I want to. Most of you who've watched me know that I am a fan of the Two of Pentacles, and so I just pull out the Two of Pentacles because what I appreciate about this, and I've not seen it done like this before. Oh, Mark said, I think the cat is encouraging the man to consider leaving, freeing himself. I could see that. But this Two of Pentacles, I've seen it on a tightrope. It's Robin Wood has it on a tightrope, and this is on a teeter-totter. And I find that just is really engaging for me. So, and I think it's funny that the cat is actually going to jump on the teeter-totter and make it, boom.
Yes. That's
That's one of the cards I really like, and I can't find it at the moment. But originally, I thought it was there was a style. I like decks with a style. I don't know if people know what a style is, but it's kind of like a stepping stool to go over a sense, and it's in like old fairy tales and things. And I like that they include that. Although this one isn't a style; it's wobbly. It's like a seesaw. But,
it's a seesaw, yes.
Like that.
We still have styles in this country, Robin.
Yeah, I remember Sandra showing one in one of her field walkthroughs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ben, do you have any cards that you want to share, including the ones you have questions about?
Yeah. So the ones that I had a question about was, and this was before looking in the book, really, was the Eight of Swords. Because I always think, sorry, the Eight of Wands. Because I always think of the Eight of Wands as like, forward movement, going ahead, Whereas this feels like it's a bit chaotic with the twister in the background and everything's up in the air, and she just has a worried look on her face. So it just kind of I didn't quite see the Eight of Wands in that card. I don't know what you think about it. But then if you look in the book, it does say, and it does make sense actually, because in the book, that little quote, Robin, that you were saying about, says things are really happening now. So in that way, I kind of can see where the 8 comes from. But for me, I don't know. I just had a bit.
This is one of my favorite cards because of everything that you said you didn't like about it. Because it is a bit of chaos, and there's a lot of power and a lot of energy. And so when I think of the Eight of Wands, I think a lot of power. And this power sometimes takes the form of a twister or a tornado or a funnel of power. And if someone is not skilled, it can go out of control and lose a lot of damage.
Yeah, I can see your point now.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I get very Wizard of Oz, Dorothy vibes from this.
Yes.
Not just the tornado, but the worried look on her face and the way she's holding the cat as if she might hold Toto. I don't know. It's just very Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Yes. And I think, Ben, Tony would like to know, what about the Knight of Wands? So much power coursing through it.
Well, I'm prepared, because I think the trouble is with the Knight of Wands, the power is pointing downwards, which normally you'd think it would be pointing either forwards or upwards. What do you think, Tony?
I think you're going to get burned. And yes, Mark, you will see that card. That is in my pile. So one thing I have...
the relationship between the power downward from the wand and the main character and the power from the dragon in the distance, because that's an interesting juxtaposition, I think, between the two ways of dealing with that power. Sorry, Gerald.
No, that's good. No, and Tony said, I think he has a firm grip, which is extremely necessary because to keep us, as Ben moves his face off camera so you can't see him. And what's interesting is I think the artist has done a very nice job of creating a dynamic image here. All of the knights are very dynamic. Here is the Knight of Swords. Here is the Knight of Pentacles. While in the traditional RWS, it's it's slower. This is just getting ready to take off.
Yeah.
We have the Knight of Cups flying over the ocean. And then we have the Knight of Wands with a rather bored cat. So I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, and you'll see he's actually winding up, getting ready to cast, building the power to direct. Yep.
Yeah.
And Tony loves that you truly tried, Ben.
Thanks, Tony.
So, Robin, do you have card that you'd like to share? Perhaps one that you have questions about, or
I have four cards I like, and a bunch I don't like or don't know much of what to make of. But.
Okay, pick one you want to talk about. And make sure that we know if it's a like or one you have questions about.
Okay, I'm going to do these two together. I love the thing I love about this deck is that quaintness of these old-fashioned witches. You know, in a little village. I love that kind of thing. Actually, I'm going to do 3 cards here.
Okay, I'm going to embiggen you.
The eight of Pentacles and 7 of Cups both look like vendors in little boutiques or little quaint little shops. And I love that kind of thing. I mean, here in the 7, we've got all these choices of purchases that we might make in this little witch's apothecary or whatever. And then in the other one, I don't even know if this is a shop or maybe she's making potions at home to go sell in the shop. But I just love the warmth of the little orange indoor cottage kind of thing. And the other one is the 5. Is it 5? Yeah, 5 of Pentacles. And I just love the sort of British style thatch roof cottages. And for me, this is so warm and inviting. You know, usually we see the figures as kind of forlorn, but here it's almost like they're headed towards this warm, lovely place with purpose, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to say you've picked cards out. This one, the 7 of Cups, I like that. It's a very nice little image, offering that confusion that can happen and that disillusionment and the being caught up in all of the options. I have a bit of an issue with it, and this is just Gerald, not endorsed by anybody else. You know your limits, purchase responsibly, don't hate me, like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. So this is the 8 of Pentacles, and what the struggle I have with this one, it's so technical. This doesn't make me think of Pentacles. It makes me think of water, because she's pouring, she's creating the tinctures. So in my mind, I want something earth-based rather than water-based.
Yeah, I see what you mean there, Gerald.
But again, so minuscule and technical. But so I'll stop talking about that one.
Well, you need something to hold the water. You need a vessel of some sort. And that makes me wonder about the idea that the material things that we are drawn towards, do they hold emotional things for us? So maybe there's something to read into the card there between Cups and Pentacles.
I appreciate that, Robin. That's extremely helpful. Thank you. That's why I like doing these deck casuals, people. And the other thing that you mentioned is the Five of Pentacles. And this is a card that I had questions about. And yes, it is a quaint little English village. Yes, Sunik, I agree. And the cone of power is a term to signify building up force of energy and sending it into something requiring attention. Yeah. Gerald is such a picky witch. I'm owning it. But I am open. Yeah. This is Robin's fan. Everybody notice Robin's fan, okay? Mm-hmm.
I will fight you for the role of picky witch.
Oh, there you go. Ooh, Tony said.
I'll get out my cone of power.
There you go. Dunce hat intended to energize the mind.
Oh.
So think about the pointy hats as a term to be a cone of power. So, yes, own it, baby. Oh, I totally am. Hence a witch's hat being cone shaped. Look at Tony. She's like, I'm not letting her drive you down that, path about the Knights of Wands and all that stuff. I mean, at least not during the daylight hours. You can do whatever you want afterwards. So, but back to the Five of Pentacles. Here's where I struggled with this is, this is a card of action and someone being pulled to the resource. And so it's either just before we see the traditional RWS where they're outside.
Yeah.
So, and this is one of the things that I appreciate about this deck that I had missed when I first started looking at it. And it is sometimes the image is captured just before or just after the traditional RWS, and I appreciate it. Calla Lily is not helping me.
It's almost like there's hope in that card, which is, I like that.
Well, and there is hope in the Five of Pentacles if people were to work at it. So,
yeah.
But okay.
It's like they're being drawn to hope though in that one, I feel. It's like, do you know what I mean? I know what you mean now. I think there is hope in the traditional with the light in the background, but I feel like she's drawn to that one.
Okay, I'm going to put us back in that order. So, Tracy said, I like that card too. Okay, cool. And so, Ben, do you have any cards that you want to share?
Yeah, I really liked this one. I know it's a difficult card, the Three of Swords, because I just thought it depicted the Three of Swords so well. You've got the outside, it's raining. You've got this, is it like a raven outside there? It's almost like someone's been sitting in bed, writing their journal of woes, and then just got fed up with it and walked off annoyed or something and dropped all the ink on the bed and just like can't take it anymore. There's no care here. There's rain coming in. It's just like when you're in that moment of grief, nothing really matters, does it? And you just, it's almost like that. It just depicts that so well, I think.
This is in my favorite pile. And for many of the reasons you said, I like how it's more figurative. It's not an actual human heart. But then there is some process, stabbed a box of chocolates. Well, yes, imagine that. Oh, Tony said this helped me understand the Three of Swords.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And I like how the ink is spilled. I think that's a very nice
I like that
depiction of that. And, yeah.
This one, for me, it's part of a story. The same way that the other two cards in the orange cottages are part of a story. This one, there's a sequence here. You've got the Three of Swords upstairs in the bedroom, and the woman, sort of traumatized by the three, decided to sleep it off in the Four. And she can't sleep. She's had a nightmare because she just can't She can't deal with it. So these are like 3 upstairs cards for me. And downstairs at the same time is somebody is stealing the silverware. So we get four. These feel like they go together to me somehow, like they're in the same dwelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot
Like
of the
a story.
cards that we see in this are outdoor activity, but the ones indoors have a kind of an intimacy about them that is just homey and cozy that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
Even this is not even a nasty, sneaky 7 of swords. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like maybe she lives there and maybe she's escaping with her valuables. Maybe she's going to be in that 6 of swords boat next. You know, she's leaving behind and she's going to
Yes.
make her escape across
Mm-hmm.
the water or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I want to bring up Mark had mentioned the Wheel of Fortune. This is probably my least favorite card in the deck. It is, I think, how was it described? It's very much, it is the game show host
Yes.
or hostess. And it's, no.
I often have trouble with Wheel of Fortune cards, and I actually kind of like this one because it's like life is a game of chance. And we get, that notion of a game too with the cat and what it's playing with on the floor. It's sort of like, you might win by capturing, but you might be the one that's captured too. So there's that element in that card. But I often have trouble with Wheel of Fortune cards, and this is one that I find more attractive than I usually do.
Sure. I appreciate that.
I think
it's just,
I'm sorry. I think there's another one that has, the dartboard one. That kind of reminds me of that too. It's like games, You've got the Wheel of Fortune, and here we've got the two of swords. So both of them are sort of like taking chances.
Yeah.
And I like this 2 of swords quite a bit. I like there's more action with it, and part of it is trusting your intuition because she's throwing these knives.
Yeah.
So, all right, talk amongst yourself for a sec.
I don't know about you guys, but another one that perplexed me a bit was the Hanged Man, and then I realised because there's like these locks on here, and I thought, oh, why is he like bound and locked? And then I realised there's a key there in his hand, and I thought that was really interesting. It's like saying that, it's good to be in that state of reflection, but we can come out of it whenever we want. We've got the key. I just thought that was an interesting take on that card. What do you think?
Or maybe the key to the card has something to do with why you put yourself in this position.
Yeah.
Like maybe I need to do something like this. So, and that's part of why it's locked and why I have the key to understand why I've done this to myself, why I'm in this position.
And actually, it's interesting you say that, Robin, because it's almost like that the broom is that person's broom, so it's like they put themselves in this position.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's a voluntary thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and Deb says, is the broom fixed? Can he wiggle it free? Which, I suppose he could actually.
It doesn't even, he could probably slide off it. It doesn't look like it's firmly in that tree. It looks like it's hovering or ready to take off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think this is one of the things that I appreciate about this deck is it's similar enough to the traditional, and there are little things that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So what did I miss? Jeffrey came home, so.
No, it's okay. We were just talking about the 12 of the Hanged Man and the fact that the key's there, and we were just talking about that, really. That has that person put themselves in that position.
Yes. Okay. Do either of you have one more card left? And if anybody would like to see a particular card, please let us know. Go ahead, Robin.
I have a card that puzzles me, and about 4 or 5 that I don't care for, and I can just do them in a quick splash through. But the one that puzzles me is the Judgment card. I don't know what you guys make of Judgment. This is more like a Fool to me or something. I don't quite get what the playing music and, you know, dancing along the path has to do with Judgment. So maybe you can help me out there.
Yeah, I struggled with this one because I thought it was the Fool. Looked like a Fool card, but it's almost like they're excited that the truth.
There's
is
the
gonna
Fool.
Yeah. It's almost like they're excited that the truth is going to be revealed, or, you know, things are coming to fruition. It's like a parade of.
I think the book says something to the effect of, you know, dancing to your own kind of music or something like that, which
it says, here we go again. Where has your path led you, and where will it lead you now?
Oh.
So it's a big picture thing, and how are you going to appreciate about it?
It's like the Pied Piper, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the standard trumpeting angel without the rising dead.
Yeah.
And Kristen Louise said Pied Piper.
And the cat is chasing a butterfly. It's like, don't go chasing butterflies.
Yeah.
I actually learned more today than I have since I've owned this deck about the cat involvements in these cards.
Yeah. And interestingly, that's the front of the box card, isn't it? So it's almost like sing your own tune, guys. Is. Dance to your own tune.
Yeah, make your own judgments.
Everyday witch.
Yes, butterfly for transformation. And again, this is why I like these deck casuals. We all learn something.
Yeah.
Ben, did I give you an opportunity to share a last card?
Yeah, that was the one that's shared, the Hanged Man.
Okay. Ben, Robin, you have a couple of more. Go for it.
Yeah, well, this is the aspect of the deck that I don't like. And it's called the Everyday Witch, and I'm not sure why. Everyday sort of does sound like it could be contemporary as opposed to in some fantasy realm of the past. And this one is where it brings it kind of contemporary. We've got a yoga practicing figure here. We've got a couple having tea by the seaside. It looks like a modern contemporary couple, not really having anything to do with witchery. Here we've got a Queen of Cups by the sea, you know, and here we've got a yoga teacher and the Hierophant. I do like the idea of the Hierophant being a teacher or a mentor rather than a religious figure, but I just don't like that contemporary feel of this deck that is not in that fairy tale realm. She's in, you know, current. I mean, this might be more in keeping with something called the Everyday Witch, although I don't look at this as a witchy image, really. We've got someone reading a book under a tree and another kind of contemporary image.
Does it kind of take you out of the deck kind of thing?
It does, because it's like, in, you know, even that one with the motorcycle, it kind of like is borderline because they don't have motorcycles, because in other ones they're riding brooms, or you've got dragons, so that is not contemporary witch. And I think the Oracle is even more contemporary than the tarot is.
Yeah, for those of you, for those of you who don't know, there is an Everyday Witch Oracle, which is done by the same people, so it has the same feel. It's an Oracle. I do not have it.
Yeah. So there's that aspect of like, is it fairy tale realm or is it real life today realm? And if it is,
I understand.
How are you defining witches? Because I know a lot of people don't like that stereotype witch, but for me that often shows it's a witch as opposed to just some New Age woman or something. I don't know. The
Sure.
last card I wanted to show is this one. I don't care for it. I don't know why. I think it's because I don't know what those things are on the back of the throne. They look like big bananas to me. I don't know if they're tusks or whale bones or what the heck they are, but I don't care much for that card. But that's the best.
So the image is not something that you go for. Okay. I will
It's like
have
a
to say,
crab.
what'd you say, Ben?
Oh, it's like a crab on the back, isn't it? It looks a bit like a crab.
Oh, yeah.
Well, just shape of it.
With the shell and the legs, the feelers.
And by the way, Ben, there's the cat getting the fish.
The fish, it died in the end.
Well, it's not quite dead yet. So.
No.
Everyday witch implies mundane life is the same for everyone. Even witches do yoga. Sip, sip by the tea.
Yeah.
And my favorite card in this deck, 9 of Pentacles, me enjoying a casual Sunday. And Patsy T, Intuitive, says, I have the Oracle but prefer the Tarot.
Why are Kings of Cups always on their own islands? You know that thing, no man is an island? Maybe that relates to that. But I just never quite understood why the King of Cups is on an island of his own.
Interesting. Okay. I appreciate that question.
Not just this deck. RWS, other decks. Yeah.
I always took it because of his emotions. I don't know. I always
Mhm.
think it's like because he's surrounded by water that he's a very emotional person. So
maybe he doesn't share his emotions. He's on his own island with no contact with other people.
Right. Okay, so the two cards that I want to show as we end is, this is a very interesting interpretation of the Ten of Swords. This is right after the person has been stabbed, still alive, trying to grab for the wand. So it's like I was mentioning earlier, it's that moment before we see in the traditional RWS where the person is actually completely dead and the sun is rising. So it put me off a little bit. I was like going, okay, but I get it. And in this card, there is a different sort of hope, perhaps, and not a letting go. And the other card that I have issues with is the Justice. And the reason I have an issue with it is it looks like Justice is actually peeking over, peeking through the blindfold. And I'm like going, yeah, he's only mostly dead. It's just a flesh wound. For those of you who know that Monty Python, it's just a scratch. So, but this one, it's like, ooh, it was like, that's sort of sneaky.
Yeah, well, I like what they've done with this deck is they've put in all these little subtle hints and new ways of looking at cards. Because in this one, it's like justice isn't fair. Wink, wink. She's privy to a little more information than would give her an equal, fair decision. So there's a question there of like, is justice really just? Is it always fair? Maybe there's an inequity there, and I like being challenged by that in that card.
Kristen Louise said perhaps the king is emotionally unshakable.
Yeah.
Because he's on his own island. So.
And also, Gerald, on the one you picked, this Ten of Swords, did you notice the little feather dropping from above? So it's like sort of like surrendering a feather in a way.
Yeah.
The bird is flight, but it's also that sword, that knowledge kind of thing, and sort of giving up the ghost or giving up a feather. Even its stance is sort of like a woe is me stance for a bird. But look at the cat at the bottom. The cat is kind of like, all right, already, get up. It's time to move on.
Doing the big hiss, trying to get up. Yeah. So, all right. Well, gosh, thank you very much for this. What What do the two of you have coming up on your channels?
Well, wait a minute. Did we tweak your position on this deck at all, or we didn't move you an inch?
That's a good question. I am looking at it more favorably. I just have to be in the mindset to see things slightly differently. So,
I won't get rid of it, even though I don't use it. But in future, if I ever have a card I'm in doubt about, I think I'll pull out that card from this one, and I think it might help me refine my perspective on it.
Right. And Mark Astrotera said, still loving the cats, but I think I will pass on the deck. Some of the majors don't have major power vibes, like the Wheel of Fortune and Judgment. It seems wrong to buy a non-diverse deck these days. And yeah. And Terra Living with Manasa said they look pinned down, not stabbed through, though. I can see that. So, yeah. And that's why I love this deck. It makes me look differently at times. Kristen Louise said, I had this deck but returned it, just couldn't connect.
I want to say something about the non-diversity thing, because I don't find it to be an issue. Now, it's just me. I like the fact that we've got a whole range of decks out there, and you can pick and choose what you want. And I wouldn't want every single deck available to be a diverse deck. I want all the options open to me. And for me, I know a lot of times they don't find diversity if they don't see depicted images of the characters in the deck. For me, it's more about the action that they take that is universal than whether their body shape or their color or their religion or whatever is different. Now, I might feel different if I was in a minority and not represented. But for me, the focus, I mean, I don't look at a female card and think, well, I can't relate to that because it's a female card. I look at what the person in that card is doing, what the action is that's taking place, and I equate that to myself. So that, for me, diversity for me is kind of a non-issue. But again, I'm not a person that feels slighted, and I know it sounds
you're not in that group.
I'm coming from a place of privilege, but for me, I mean, maybe that's why I appreciate decks in particular that don't depict any kind of, don't even depict humans or, anything where diversity would be an issue. They don't depict that, like cards that don't have figures in them or something. So just putting that out there.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Ben, what do you have coming up?
Well, next Friday, I'm on your channel, Gerald, with some other group of people, because it's lovely Richie. It's his birthday next week. So
yes, Longman Tarot.
We are doing a birthday. Well, you're hosting, because you're so wonderful at it, Gerald, a birthday live. So I'll be there for that. And then after that, I'm doing a live with Ange and Tanji to do some readings. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. Robin, do you have any other stuff planned coming up?
No, I would like to do more collaborations with people, but I don't know if I've outworn my welcome.
No.
Overbearing and overly chatty today, so I hope I haven't burned any bridges behind me, but
never, Robin, never.
Later today, I'm actually on Black Cat Tarot. I have been invited on there at 6 p.m. Eastern, so Ben will be long asleep. And on Monday, as I mentioned, there's the Magic Tool Talk sigils, which are 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. British summertime.
I'm happy to see you got Chris Yao to come back, because he's not been out much lately.
No, he has not.
For that.
And Kristen Louise says, you've been great, Robin. I'll do one with you. So there you go. And then on Tuesday, I am actually on on Jonathan Daly's channel at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're doing an I'll Show You Mine. And so it's part of a channel takeover. I'm taking over his channel. So, and Deb H says, when I start my channel, you would be welcome anytime, Robin. And Patsy enjoyed listening, Robin. So always informative and charming. Tuning in.
Oh, there's a lot of love for Robin.
A lot of love for Robin. Tarot Living with Manasa just subscribed. And on Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, I have a transparent tarot deck casual with Ange of Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. And I think you should be here for that one, is what I have to say. You want to be here for that one. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And Tony said we could discuss Everyday Witch Oracle, Robin. Do you have that one, Robin?
I don't, and I'm not going to buy it. But if she wants to hold up the cards, I'll be happy to look at them and discuss it.
There you go. So, all right. Well, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please like and subscribe to everybody's channels. Know your limits. Purchase responsibly. Yeah. And have a good rest of your day. Oh, gosh. All right. Bye.